In February 1989, a man named Alec Newald was abducted by aliens and taken for 10 days to their home world, where they told him the truth about them, showed him amazing technology, and sent him back with a message for all humanity. During those 10 mind-opening days, Alec learned a lot about the alien race that hosted him. But, incredibly, he learned much more shocking things about the human race. And what he learned changed his whole perspective about life on this planet. So much so that, when he returned to Earth, he discovered that government agencies were determined to do all they could to stop him from sharing the truth. But today, in this new episode of Space Trinity, I will share with you the whole story of Alec Newald's abduction and the truth he reveals about aliens and humanity. Welcome. In early February 1989, Alec Newald got into his car in his native hometown Rotorua and drove to the city of Auckland, New Zealand. He enjoyed driving, and with 200 kilometers, or 125 miles, it was not a particularly tiring journey, and under normal circumstances, it wouldn't take more than 3 hours. Still, when he arrived in Auckland, Alec recalls feeling extremely tired, with his heart racing and his mouth dry. To make matters worse, he felt disoriented and got lost on the streets of the city where he had lived most of his life. He stopped to collect himself and have something to eat, and he found himself looking at the other people in the restaurant, trying to learn how to correctly hold the knife and fork in his hands. His wristwatch, he soon found out, had stopped working. Strangely, the clock in his car had stopped working at the exact same time, 10:30 a.m. He decided to go straight to bed, thinking everything would be normal the next day. Except it wasn't. The first thing he learned the next day was that it was a Thursday. How strange, he thought. Alec had left Rotorua on a Monday, so the following day should have been a Tuesday. But not only that, it was Thursday the next week. He had arrived in Auckland City 10 days after departing Rotorua. What had happened in that time? He could not remember. In the following days, Alec experienced more disorientation, as well as recurring and disturbing dreams and painful headaches. His car failed often, so instead of spending a fortune fixing it, he sold it for a low price. When he went to retrieve all his belongings from the car, he found 2 small crystals of pyrite, a known mineral popularly called fool's gold. He also took a sketchbook that he always carried around, but when he opened it, he found it was full of strange sketches and doodles he did not remember drawing. Still, with all the strange things that were going on during those days, he didn't give it a lot of thought and tossed the drawings on his home desk. A few days later, 2 people knocked on his door. They identified themselves as scientists and members of the DSIR, the Department of Scientific and Industrial Research. According to Alec, a New Zealander did most of the talking. The other gentleman had a British accent, and when he showed him his DSIR card, Alec also saw another card reading Royal Institute for International Affairs. This made him suspicious, but he did not know what to expect, so he politely answered all their questions. They were very interested in his car, and when Alec informed them of the recent sale, they appeared disappointed. They left, but promised to come back at a later date. Feeling a little paranoid but still thinking this had to do entirely with the car, Alec moved to another place and didn't share the address with anybody. But despite these measures, he found himself answering the door to the same 2 men a few weeks later. This time they were much more insistent and had several specific questions to which Alec did not have answers. All he knew was that somehow he had lost 10 days and that his car had started acting up, so he sold it. Claiming that he had no more answers to give them, he asked the men to leave and never come back. The next evening, when Alec returned to his apartment, he felt a strange sensation. Someone had broken into the apartment. Everything was in place except for the 2 pyrite crystals, which were missing, and several pages from his sketchbook. Oh well, he thought, they got what they were looking for. Now at least they would leave him alone. At the time, he couldn't know just how wrong